Hi, this is Fred. In Big Blue Button, you can interact with students many ways through chat, polls, whiteboard, shared notes, speaking, raise hand. And during a live session, Big Blue Button has the Learning Analytics dashboard, which will keep track of student activity. The key concept here is that it's enabling the instructor to see if any students are inactive, which is not a good sign if you want them to be actively learning. That includes ranking by activity score, response to polls, and response to quizzes. This is available during each live session, but what if you wanted to aggregate all of that data across multiple sessions? This is where the Enterprise Learning Analytics dashboard comes in. So if you have it set up on your account, contact Blindside Networks if you're interested, you'll be able to view across all of the sessions. This view is for administrators, and this view is as it sounds. It's basically an aggregation of all the data. Let me show you what's possible. When you go to the first panel, and this data is all Blindside Networks data, by the way, you'll see a summary of how many sessions you've done, total number of users across sessions, total number of hours of session time, and the total number of hours of talk time. I'll talk about that in a moment. And the graph here shows the users per week and the sessions per week. So you can kind of see them trend over time. You can filter this as well. So if I was looking for filtering just training, I can put training in, and it will then filter the data down to only the sessions. And I can also filter by day too. There's lots of specific filters here. If I close that filter, it'll go back and it'll show me all the data. We can go down to looking at data at the level of the course. So course analysis is really just what it sounds like. These are all individual rooms, or in some cases, the LMSs, they mapped individual courses. What you have is 3 fields which we created based on feedback from our customers. One is the average student activity score. So that's the average score that you see inside of the Learning Analytics dashboard, but it's averaged up for the session. It just shows which sessions are more active than others. The average Big Blue Button score is really just a 1 to 10 of how many features in Big Blue Button were used. This is relative. You probably don't want to see very few features in classes, which means they're not using the breakout rooms or the polling or the whiteboard or the shared notes. Some number there is good. And the average instructional time is when the instructor was speaking and the students weren't doing anything. We have enough fine-grained detail in Big Blue Button we can tell that. In most cases, the number is going to be somewhere between 0 and 100, which basically says, for example, in this one, 72% of the time the instructor was talking, and roughly 28% of the time the students were doing something. So there's some probably number that you're looking for in your classes. And again, we have the filters here as well. This is aggregate by course. If we go down to individual sessions, a course may have multiple Big Blue Button sessions with inside of it. These would be activities in Moodle, and these would be conferences inside of Canvas. And now you start to see some other data. How much sessions were this week? Quieter, average activity score, average Big Blue Button score, average instructional time. It's another way to filter down the data. And again, I can sort this as well just by clicking on the titles. So I could see I'm just interested in the ones that were recorded. This one is probably most interesting because it's going to show the average activity score over time. And what you're looking for is ideally, classes are more active. Students are doing more activity in the classes, they're engaged more. It's probably going to correlate with higher learning outcomes. And again, all the filters are available. Shows the average activity score across all of courses, percent of meetings that were recorded, percent with polls, with shared screen, whiteboard, and breakouts. This also gives you a sense that, hey, if there was no polls being used, you would probably want to help instructors understand better how to use the polls or use them with smart slides. And again, you can filter down by role. I can search by username. So if I look for my name, I could see my average activity across all the sessions. So looks like it's going up. It's a good thing. And then finally, you have the details. So again, the filters will carry across. So here it's just showing my details across all of my rooms. And this data here, it shows what you would see in the Learning Analytics dashboard. The chat, how many times I spoke, total time I spoke, total time I shared webcam, total time I shared screen, polls, whiteboard marks, raise hand, emojis. This is not data for assessment in the sense where a grade is going to be assigned. It's really giving you insight into all the sessions that are occurring in Big Blue Button for the chance where you can see trends, so that if you do make some changes in your courses, maybe again do some training on smart sides, helping instructors understand better how to use the breakout rooms, and so on, you should be able to make data-driven decisions and see this over time And the more activity you see should correlate with higher learning outcomes. We hope you find it useful to help increase learning outcomes with your online classes.